Hello everyone, welcome to this YouTube channel, a channel for amazing facts and information. In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 powerful and strongest countries in Africa. Watch this video till the end for a better understanding, and make sure to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss any of our future uploads. You might be wondering which country is strongest in Africa. However, when looking at Africa, many people have actually contemplated it. Military power is necessary for any progressive state seeking to protect its borders and interests. Overall, looking at the strongest countries in Africa 2020, the continent is doing well against world superpowers. Below is the list of the top 10 powerful and strongest countries in Africa. Number 10. Libya. There has not been peace and stability in the North Africa country since the ouster of Muammar Gaddafi. The country is currently divided between a government in Tripoli and a rogue general, General Haftar, who enjoys the backing of Western powers such as the United States. The government in Tripoli is battling to keep the forces out of the city as it lacks a fully integrated force. Regardless, the country still has available 2,500 armored fighting vehicles, 500 tanks, 600 towed artillery pieces, 6,500 logistical vehicles. Number 9. The Democratic Republic of Congo. Blue Helmets, the United Nations Stabilization Mission, still has a presence in the country as the country's own forces are not fully ready to handle the peace operations. The security reform of the country began in 2003 after a period of civil war and is still grappling with the effort to integrate armed non-state actors into national security institutions. There is an active force of 134,000 personnel, though this is a sizable force. Number 8. Sudan. After prolonged protests and a sit-in by protesters at its headquarters, the military toppled longtime ruler Omar al-Bashir. However, the past few weeks have seen reports of military brutality coming out of Sudan as talks between civilian representatives and the military reached a deadlock. The military has an active force of 109,000 personnel, 191 aircraft, 410 combat tanks, 403 armored fighting vehicles, and a total of 18 naval assets. Most of this equipment is supplied from Russia and China as the country is under sanctions from Western countries. Number 7. Morocco. Earlier this year, King Mohammed VI made a call for the government to recruit 10,000 Moroccans into compulsory military service this year. The Royal Army has an active force of 196,000 personnel. At its disposal are 291 aircraft, 2,720 armored vehicles, 1,109 tanks, and a navy with a fleet of 121 assets. The Army also kicked off a joint military exercise with the US dubbed African Lion 2019 in March, which was focused on training it for the fight against violent extremism and terrorism. Number 6. Angola. Earlier this year, the transformation agenda of President Lourenço swept through the armed forces with 88 generals being relieved of their duties. This comes a year after the Chief of Staff lost his job when he was named by the Attorney General in a corruption probe. The eggs from what the president calls the Golden Goose oil reserves have allowed the Southern African nation to fund a large military budget. It currently has an active force of up to 100,000 troops backed up by 585 armored fighting vehicles, 300 tanks, 285 pieces of aircraft, and has a navy of 57 craft. Number 5. Ethiopia. Ethiopia has focused its resources on developing its army and air force to an impressive degree. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has enjoyed a cordial relationship with the military since gaining power, with military officials having been seen touring some of the PM's projects, and being briefed on his vision for the country. The country has for years experienced internal conflict. The need for a strong military has also been a necessity considering the threat of terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Ethiopia currently has an active force of 140,000 troops with nearly 2 million people reaching military age annually. Number 4. Nigeria. The West Africa Army has been locked in a battle with the Boko Haram insurgency for the better half of the decade. Like Algeria and Egypt, an abundant domestic oil supply eases the financial burden of involvement in military conflict. Nigeria has more than 1,800 armored vehicles, 250 tanks, and 6,000 logistical vehicles at its disposal, as well as nearly 300 aircraft and 25 high-powered naval vessels. The naval power of the country lags behind compared to the rest of the African counterparts with maritime borders. Number 3. South Africa. As it hasn't been embroiled in an international military conflict for some time, South Africa uses its highly advanced military for peacekeeping and international cooperation. The lack of conflict has not prevented the country from having a whopping $4.6 billion defense budget. Its aircraft and naval vessels are notoriously well equipped with the latest technology, and though the country has less than 100,000 active frontline personnel, it has the capabilities and manpower for much more. Add to that a vast array of land system technology, and the South African military is a force to be reckoned with. Number 2. Algeria. The country has managed to develop massive military capabilities on land, in the air as well as in the waters. The country, however, ranks a distant second in the 27th position in global rankings. Algeria's active frontline personnel number more than 130,000 troops, and it has nearly 2,000 armored fighting vehicles at its disposal. The country is experiencing turmoil after its longtime president stepped down, but the military has also found a voice as instability and civil unrest persist. The army chief has voiced his concerns on the proposed delay to the elections, which may fuel further unrest. The army in Algeria is the only entity able to oppose effectively Islamic forces. Number 1. Egypt. Egypt puts itself over the top with regard to military strength due to the sheer size of its armed forces. The North Africa power ranks an impressive 12th in global rankings. The Egyptian armed forces consist of the Egyptian Army, Egyptian Navy, Egyptian Air Force, and Egyptian Air Defense Command. Nearly 500,000 personnel serve on its active frontline force, far surpassing all its African counterparts. It has nearly 10,000 armored fighting vehicles, 60,000 logistical vehicles, 1,092 aircraft, and large oil reserves from which to draw. What greatly sets it apart is its naval strength, which includes traditional carriers as well as nuclear-powered submarines. That was it for this video. What do you think about our video, the top 10 powerful and strongest countries in Africa? Which country is your favorite? Let us know in the comment section below. As always, please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss many more videos like this. Talk to you all in our next video. Take care.